I come from a country that has a lot of problems. We have a crisis, we have political crisis, we have a lot of necessities, a lot of needs in my country. A lot of people, a lot of people it's starving in my country. A lot of people doesn't have the medicines that they need. We don't live in Venezuela like we want to achieve something. We will live in Venezuela to survive.
But I do believe that in the beginning or in the early phase when you moved into the US, you must have faced some pushbacks or that was a totally new environment. So how did you adjust yourself to the new environment and how did you not lose the motivation?
I worked 12 hours, 5 days in a row, and it was really hard to those amount of time. But once that I got my paycheck, I was like, okay, you're working for this amount of money that you never seen in Venezuela.
You are right that most of the roofers in the crew are Latinos and they are not the white guys. They are not even from the US. They are migrants. I don't see most of them creating their own companies or growing up to the level where you want to take them. So where do you feel they lag?
Information. I think the lack is on information.
Okay.
They don't the information and also the discipline on themselves, because sometimes they get set up like mentally ways that they just can't achieve that. There's not another ceiling after that. There's another sky after that.
Okay, when I was scrolling your profile, I saw a post where you did complete breakdown of the cost of the roofs that you did. Like you mentioned that what was the material cost, you mentioned that what was the labor cost, you even mentioned what was your profit, net profit.
Because I always tell the customers I'm not the cheapest guy. I try to be sometimes the cheapest guy because I don't want to make $1 million from just one job. I want to make the fair amount of money from every single job. When for example, those clients that I do those, I always try to open my books with the people. Like, okay, this is how much money I'm gonna make, but I also have a lot of cost.
I have had people on my show who had these supercars and yachts, and they say that we are happy this way as well. And I have people who say exactly like you that these things don't make you happy.
If you want to drive in a sport car, go to Miami and rent that car. If you have the money to do it, rent it for a weekend. But if you're gonna buy type of cars, I think you're not investing money, you're spending your money in bad ways. So go rent this car, have fun for a weekend, and then just give it back to the owner to depreciate.
Hey everyone, welcome to the latest episode of the Roofing Millionaires podcast, the only roofing podcast where we don't promote anyone and we don't sell you anything. In this episode, we are sitting down with Hender from Proud Roofing in Texas, and he talks about his journey of success after moving to the US from Venezuela, where he didn't see many success opportunities. Hender tells you what are the things you need to learn if you are a migrant and you want to succeed in roofing as well. Not only this, he also shares how he is giving back to the Latino community now by providing them with the key information they need to build a successful career in roofing. Do like and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want us to bring more roofing experts like this on the show who can help you work on your success journey as well. Let's dive in. Welcome to the Roofing Millionaires podcast, Hender. It's great to have you on the show today. How are you feeling today inside and what's going on in the external world?
Everything is going good. Thanks for the invite. Feeling okay. A morning person. Just run a little bit, some exercise, and now already working. You know how it is.
Okay. I have seen some of your videos and you wake up really early. We'll come back to that later on. Can you just briefly explain to the audience like, what's your background and how did you end up in roofing so far?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm from Venezuela. I was born in Venezuela. I moved to the United States around 5 years ago.
Okay.
I started working in a kitchen, in a seafood kitchen for about a year. I used to work as a kitchen employee. Like I used to boil the crabs and all this stuff. And then I started doing, my English wasn't really good. Still doesn't the best English in the world, but it was worse back then. So I didn't feel comfortable to start like taking tables and being a server. But in some point, like 6 months after I got here, I started taking care of as a server and stuff. And I really like to speak to people. And then I finally received an invitation to start selling roofs for this company.
Okay.
They're a really good friend of mine. They're called Texas Gold Roofing.
Hmm.
They give me the opportunity to start selling roofs with them. Then I start as a project manager with them. I sold around 8 roofs in my first month. It was really good. I got in love with the industry. And after that, I asked him like if he was okay if I can start my own company. And he actually helps me with everything. We are still really good friends. We are networking together. So he was like my first step in the industry. The company helps me to start it was the first thing that I did in the industry.
Okay.
I have always liked a lot of marketing, a lot of that's what I enjoy, creating content most and
Hmm.
selling. I started liking sales after I started selling roofs because I think it's a wonderful industry to be in nowadays. But yeah, that was basically my background in the roofing industry. I started around 4 years ago,
Hmm.
and I started my own 3 years ago. Now
Okay.
I really like the roofing industry. It's what I'm most in love after my wife and my daughter. But yeah, that's
Perfect.
that's what I love in my life right now.
Okay. So you are working at Proud Roofing right now, right?
Yes, that's my company
Okay.
right now.
Okay, so I saw some of your videos and you are really like a morning person, and now you are working at a roofing company. You just have like you have to be on roofs all day or for most of the times. So how do you balance your energies?
So when you start your mornings at early time, like around 5 a.m. as I do, you have a lot of time for yourself. You have around 2 hours for yourself where the full world is off. Like nobody is bothering you. You don't have no calls. The only thing that you have in your mind is you and how to have some me time. Because people sometimes say like, I don't have me time, but that's my perfect
Hmm?
me time. 2 hours in the morning. I love to run.
Hmm?
I go in the mornings and then I start doing some exercise, reading a book, making some courses online, or doing something like that. That's for me personally. So it's my energy. And then I think if I don't do that, I don't have the enough
Hmm?
energy to go in my day and work in roofs because I'm a business owner, but I don't like to be a office business manager. I like to be in the field with my guys. I like to understand what we're doing. I love doing repairs. I love going
Hmm?
with my crews, making sure my product is at quality. I know sometimes I cannot be there, but I always make sure to try to give 5 stars quality in the roofs that we work on, give them professional reports of what we're doing on repairs. I'm big on repairs, and when we have roof replacements, I think roof replacements are a little bit easier than repairs because you just have to do it all over again, so you're gonna have problems. Repairs, oh well. So yeah, yeah, I think roof replacements are beautiful in the industry,
Hmm?
but repairs are more difficult because they give you headaches, they give you stuff, and I like to keep my mind busy with something, so I love to go and with my repair crew.
Hmm?
And when we have replacement, there's always a challenge as well. And I really love doing both, but I have certain preference to go and do some commercial repairs and some residential repairs. They're more fun for me, but that's personally speaking. Of course,
Hmm?
my pocket loves more than replacements.
Okay.
Repairs are also fun for us.
Okay. And I think that we should dig deep into your journey for a while, because this podcast, I have created it for people like you, like who have big dreams and who are into roofing, and now you can inspire others because you have created your own company, and in the just 4 to 5 years, you are doing something good. So I want to ask you, like, when you moved to the US, did you have any mindset shift, or did you have any plan or any mission in your mind that I have to achieve something, or was it just it all happened randomly?
Yes, no, it didn't happen randomly.
Hmm.
The thing is, I come from a country that has a lot of problems. We have a crisis, we have political crisis, we have a lot of necessities, a lot of needs in my country. A lot of people, a lot of people it's starving in my country. A lot of people doesn't have the medicines that they need. We don't live in Venezuela like we want to achieve something. We will live in Venezuela to survive. So once that I got off from that situation and that meant mindset of I need to survive my life, not living my life,
Hmm.
it was a shift that I did in my mind. Like, okay, I'm in a place full of opportunity as an America is, right? I love the United States of America because they give me a lot of opportunities. And if I want to do something, if I want to achieve something and I work enough to get it done, it will get it done. It's like everything that you want in your mind is possible just when you have the drive to get to that point. But if you don't have the drive to get to that point, it's never going to happen, right? So I came from that. And once that I start, like, okay, I have a goal in my mind. I want to achieve $100,000 in 1 year, and I did it for the first time, six figures. It was that's something that I couldn't even think in Venezuela, like never. Like
Yes.
I remember $1,000 for me was like a crazy amount of money when I used to live in Venezuela, and now being able to achieve seven figures in 1 year after roofing, it's something that blows my mind and also put me to think like, hey, this is a country full of opportunities that if you do everything right, if you are good to people, if you honor your word, if you are a reputable person that people can trust in you, you can build amazing things on here. It's not like in Venezuela, like it doesn't matter how good you are or how hard you work, you're never gonna see results of what you do. But in America, you see the results on the hard job, on the hard work and the hustle. So that's something that shifted my mind. And now I think the sky is the limit. I think everything that I'm working on, it's gonna get somewhere if I put the enough energy and the enough faith and everything. You're gonna get to that point. So that's why I wake up every single morning at 5 a.m. because I have high expectations of my life. I have high expectations of what can I do tomorrow. So that's why that's basically the shift that I did when I come here to America and realized this is a country full of opportunities.
Okay, so yeah, it was a great answer, by the way. Now I have a question, Hender, that people like you, where you have the drive and you have like what it takes to build something and all the things that you mentioned, that you have to be of good character, you have to believe in yourself that you will achieve something, and that you have to be of value. That is what I got from you so far. Now everyone cannot end up in roofing when they move to a country like this, but I do believe that in the beginning or in the early phase when you moved into the US, you must have faced some pushbacks, or that was a totally new environment. So how did you adjust yourself to the new environment, and how did you not lose the motivation? Because I believe that everything you try in the beginning, it just does not work, and you have to have failures at times as well. So how did you handle that?
Yeah, the thing that I put in perspective that I'm different to everybody. So
Okay.
my times are different to everybody. When I was 21 years old, I was in Venezuela. I didn't know how to speak English. I didn't know how to do a lot of things that people here in America with 21 years, they already did. 21 years old, they already did. They speak English. They went to a college. They went to a lot of things different. So I don't like, I don't compete. I don't try to compete mentally with these people because everybody has different stage on their life. When you are 21 and you're already graduating from an university or from college or whatever, you have a different life and a different background that I have. So I try not to think like, okay, I'm not achieving something because this person is 21 years old and he already achieved this. No, I try to put my life in my personal perspective. So when I was 13 years old, I was fighting to get one piece of food on the market in Venezuela, and they were here working the high school and with a different type of lifestyle. I see, of course, I had my failures when I get here. I remember working in the kitchen, created because I worked 12 hours, 5 days in a row, and it was really hard to those amount of time. But once that I got my paycheck, I was like, okay, you're working for this amount of money that you never seen in Venezuela. So this is an upgrade on your life. This is something that you can, if you work enough, you can get more and more and more. But you need to start learning English. You need to start going to courses. You need to get professional or something. You need to be an expert on what you do. And Everything that you do, you have to do it on your best. Of course, there are always going to be failures. But if you don't go through failures, how are you going to success? You need to go to failures. If you go straight to the victory, straight to the achievements, straight to everything with no failures, eventually you're going to fail, because you need failures to make you grow as a person. You need failures to make you grow as a human being. So I think the perfect life does not exist. The perfect life is just a myth. Everybody has their problems on their scale. As I had a problem that I need to get food and make a huge line in Venezuela just to get a piece of bread. People in here got their own problems, that getting bullied at school, for example, that I didn't have those type of problems. So everybody is battling their own wars. Everybody has their own battles to fight against. And that's something that I really like to think. Like, everybody has their own battles at their own levels, at their own scales. So you don't have to compete with nobody, and you don't. The only competition that you have, the only person that is against you is yourself. So if I don't wake up early, if I don't put the times on work, or I don't put the times on myself, that's on me. That's on my brain. Nobody else is trying to hurt me. It's just myself. If I rather to drink a Coke or drink a beer instead of drinking water, then it's my fault. It's my brain. My brain is controlling me. I'm not controlling my brain. So that's your own battle to fight. It's nobody trying to hurt you, or it's just yourself. So that's something that I put always in my mind. Like, okay, if you had a fight in your life, it's your own fight. Everything else the only thing that you cannot solve in life is death. Everything else you can figure it out. You can get out of something, but death, you cannot come back from that. So if you haven't died yet, if you haven't died yet, you still have an opportunity to get up and do more stuff.
I really like that approach, brother. And top 0.1% people, they have the winner's mentality. Like, they don't know anything besides winning. All they know is that they have to win. And even if they have a failure, they just look at that failure as one more step towards winning, towards succeeding. And that's the kind of vibe I get from you. And I saw that you are doing your podcast in Spanish. You just learned English that so you can communicate with these people, and now you are owning yourself, just like you said that you are in no competition with anyone else, and you are showing up yourself as you are. So what is the feeling or story behind that? Because if I am correct, you are not trying to be anyone else. You are just trying to show people that this is who I am, and this is what you are getting if you are working with me.
Yes. So I start this podcast because I see a lot of people in the industry that hasn't got the enough guidance, enough information sources to get the information from. Like, I start something called the Escuela de Roofing as well, along with Roofing Insights and Dimitri Lipinski. So we start this roofing school, but in Spanish. So basically what we do is we teach people in Spanish, mostly subcontractors, mostly people trying to get into the industry, to step above, try to get their own company, trying to give them the right tools. Because as people working on roofs, they work 12 hours, sometimes 6 days per week.
Yes.
So they deserve it to step above, or at least to try. So I want them to have this opportunity and don't get stuck in there, because it's a really close industry when you don't have that much source of information.
Okay.
So my approach is to get as much information as I can for my Latino community. It's the people that I'm a Latino person, so that's my people, and I want them to grow as well, because I know there is a lot of bad people in this country, from a lot of bad Latinos that do give us a bad image. Like, all the stuff that are happening with Latinos here in the United States right now. But I think we are more good people than bad people. It's more the people that want to get up in the morning, go to work, and do everything as the book says, everything as legally is supposed to be. So that's why, because I want that people to have the source of information, the source of knowledge to start growing. And I really love to have like a networking of people. Yeah, networking with, I can okay, you help me with metal, you help me with tile, you help me with TPO. We work together as a team. Because if you take a look, most of the crews in America, they are Latinos. So they are the ones who make the actual.
Yes.
They know how it is supposed to be done correctly. So I try to understand, learn from them, and actually give them the tools to start getting in marketing, getting in websites, getting in appraisals, public adjusters, all this type of source that we need as a business owners to achieve some goals, or at least, let's say you don't want to be a millionaire company. Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
But you want to land your own jobs. I just want to give them the right information to land some jobs on their own site and make some extra money after the subcontracting services that they are offering right now. So it's basically to help my community to grow as much as we can. We don't get any profit from the podcast. We get profit from the Squad Roofing, but we don't get any profit from their podcast or nothing like that. We just get feedback from people that feed us as human beings. Like, okay, we're doing something that it's actually getting to people. We receive really cool comments and like cheering us up to go and do more episodes, talk about more things. They give us ideas to where we should talk about. So it's a really nice format that we're working on. And I'm really happy to be able to achieve this kind of stuff and get some little of voice for the Latino community and work along with them.
Cool. Speaking of Latino community, Hender, but you are right that most of the roofers in the crew are Latinos and they are not the white guys. They are not even from the US. They are migrants, most of the people. So what do you feel that they lag? Because I don't see most of them creating their own companies or growing up to the level where you want to take them. So where do you feel they lag?
Information. I think the lack is on information.
Okay.
The information and also the discipline on themselves, because sometimes they get set up like mentally ways that they just can't achieve that. There's not another ceiling after that. There's another sky after that, but they have a full sky after that ceiling, They don't know that. They got set up like, okay, if I'm gonna work in a crew, that's what I'm gonna do my whole life, and I need to work until I'm 65 years old, until my body allows me to work. So this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to provide to my family this way, but there's not another way. But how they get set up since they were little, because sometimes I see like, okay, my dad was a roofer, my grandpa was a roofer. They did roofs like this, and this is what it works. But sometimes they don't know it's more beyond that. So I think it's mentally, I think we need to do a shift, mentally speaking, and also get more sources of information. As I see Latinos in roofing, for example, with Amparo Sanseng, they're doing a magnificent job helping the Latino community on ABCs. They're the people that doesn't want to go online. They go to ABC's meetings and they work together as a team and they do great stuff. So that is something that I'm actually proud of the Latino community, but I think it's more confidence on themselves and sometimes barrier language as well. But I talk about that in the podcast, that there is a language barrier, but you can overpass that barrier language, hiring people, getting people who speak better the language and getting bilingual people, because there are for example, I'm from Texas.
Okay.
I live in Houston, Texas. So here's a lot of Latinos. So you have a lot of market on Latinos as well. So I talk a lot of that in the podcast as well. That's the main two reasons that I think are lacking in our industry.
Cool. Let's just talk about your company as well for a while. That you are working in a kitchen, and from there you are working as a project manager in roofing. From there you are owning your own company. So what are the learnings that you learned from being in the kitchen, from being project manager, and from being a company owner?
Yes. Okay, so basically I learned in the kitchen that I never want to go back to the kitchen because it's a really stressful work. That's what I learned in the kitchen.
Okay.
Every day, thanks to God that He put me in that situation. Because if you don't live those situations, you're never gonna know how it feels like be.
You're not gonna value success. Yes.
You're not gonna value success, exactly. So I need to be in those spots. I need to work 85 hours per week. I used to work 85 hours per week in the kitchen when the tickets were like beep, 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 beep. It's stressful, really, really stressful. I remember coming back to home when I went to sleep. I remember hearing them still like beep, 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 the full night. So you dream with the kitchen, and so there is something that basically strength. It gave me strength, and it gave me also. It helps me with the mindset that I never want to go back to that point of my life. If I have to, I have to, man. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna do it all over again. Okay. But that's what motivates me these days. This keep going from the from this company that I worked for in the past, Texas Gold Roofing, the project manager and everything. They give me the passion. They basically show me this industry, and they give me the passion. I learn from them that roofing is what I want to do. That's the most valuable thing that I learned from that company. Working on a team, like if you have a really cool team to work with, it's never gonna feel like a work. If you're doing what you're passionate about, it's never gonna feel like work. It's gonna feel like passion. It's gonna feel like something that you're exciting to do every single day, because you know what sucks, that you have to wake up and say, oh my god, I have to go work. That sucks. I don't want to be. I am spending most of my life in a place that I don't want to be in. So if you're doing that, you're missing your whole life. So you need to be in a place where you want to be. And I remember going to a place to work. It was really fun for me. Cool. I learned more things. They basically give me the passion that I need, and they show me the way to go. And after I start my own company, I understand that I'm a service guy. I want to do service for people, no matter what. It's a really good profitable industry where you can make a lot of money, but it's also a really profitable industry for your feelings. Like, okay, if you go to a homeowner that it's in really need and you help him get the roof done through the insurance or something like that, and they get their new roof, they are not fighting anymore with the leaks, they are not struggling with leaks anymore, and they thank you, they invite you to have barbecue, you become a friend of them after all this process, and they are happy with the result that you give them. That is a really good thing. It's the most beautiful feeling that I feel in this industry, helping people to get there. Meanwhile, I'm doing profit. It's like the perfect job, man. You're helping people, you're helping yourself, and you are doing something good for the country. You're doing something good for the people. And as long as you make honor of your work and honor of your time, and you give them value more than you take value from them, it's gonna give you a lot of things back. And I'm really proud and of my company, of what we do and how we work. We must not be the huge company, but at the little company that we are helping a lot of people to solve problems, and we are actually helping ourselves to get this gratification from them every single day. So it's a win-win.
Perfect. Amazing. You just mentioned a little ago that most people are pretending, or they don't want to go to work. Every Monday is like they just want to avoid that. It's the worst day of their life. And I believe that most 80% of the people who are doing jobs these days are pretending, like from 9 to 5, they are pretending to be someone they are not. Like they have to obey their bosses, they have to pretend that they are a team worker or anything. They are just pretending their personality for 60 to 70% of the time of their life. Now, the question I have is that you are a business owner now, and I feel that as business owners, we are somewhere responsible for our teams. Like, what do they feel, or what kind of cultures we create in our businesses? So how are you ensuring that the people who work with you are the right people and they have the right feelings as well?
There is a lot of type of company. There is family-owned companies. There are massive companies that are franchised. There are a lot of different roofing companies. We're a family business owned roofing company, but we also work with a lot of people that we know from before, and a lot of people that a lot of people that saw me get in the industry, that were like, hey, I want to work with you because I want to be part of what you're doing. We work with 4 or 5 friends that people say you don't supposed to mix work and family, work and friends or stuff like that, but it actually works for us because we are having fun while working, while doing some great stuff, and while learning new stuff together. My best friend since I'm a little kid, he works with me as a project manager. I saw how he grew from working in a factory for 12 hours per day to being a roofing specialist, get certified, doing commercial jobs, doing repair jobs, doing residential jobs. So I work with him. He is part of my team. And I think everybody that starts in our team, it started becoming friends of us as well. So we have fun in the office. We just have our task to go over the task list and get over everything that we need to do. But meanwhile, we're having fun at the office. We have music in the office. We're calling clients. We're calling insurance. We're making jokes. We are like, it's a cool. I wish to work in a place like this for my whole life because it's fun. It's like a family. I know sometimes family business owned is like sometimes they're like never work for a family business owned, but they say if you start working for a family business owner, you're never gonna stop working for a family business owner, and that's supposed to have some why, some reason. And the reason is because it's a nice place to work. You can trust the people that is working there. They're reputable people that that they have values and they will take care of you. And in the meantime, you grow. And I want everybody that works with me to grow. If they want to open their own companies at some point, let's go and do it. I support you to do it. I don't want you to be stuck with me for your whole life. If you want at any point go make your own company, I'm glad to hear it. Just leave me somebody that can help me doing your job and I'm fine with that. But that is my mindset. Like try to make your environment of work as much as friendly as relaxed as you can. Why Google have relaxing rooms? Why Google have game rooms? Why they have creative rooms? Because you need to feel like you're living while you're working. If you're not feeling like you're living while you're working, you're gonna be stuck at work forever. So you need that.
Yes. And why Google has all of this, I believe that they don't want you to leave them and they just want you to be part of that ecosystem forever. So handle that when I had a recommendation to interview, by the way. Andrew Itnayer from Masters Roofing in Tennessee, he recommended me to interview you. And then I just scrolled through your profile. Okay. When I was scrolling your profile, I saw a post where you did complete breakdown of the cost of the roofs that you did. Like you mentioned that what was the material cost, you mentioned that what was the labor cost, you even mentioned what was your profit, net profit. Not so many people do that, and they fear that if I tell the homeowners what I make, they might feel that this guy is making over 50% or 60% of what I am paying him. But you are being transparent to an extent that you are sharing all of this as well. What is the motivation behind that?
Because I always tell the customers I'm not the cheapest guy. I try to be sometimes the cheapest guy because I don't want to make $1 million from just one job. I want to make the fair amount of money from every single job. When for example, those clients that I do those, I always try to open my books with the people. Like, okay, this is how much money I'm gonna make, but I also have a lot of cost. I have insurance, I have general liability workers, I have trucks to pay, I have vans to pay, I have a full team of work people to pay. So this is not gonna go I'm not gonna go to the Bahamas with this money, I'm gonna invest this money and keep helping more people. And you're gonna get sometimes I always tell people you're gonna get from me as much value for your home as you want, and you just and I'm gonna ask you for some profit, of course, because nobody works for free the whole year. But we don't want to go with the homeowner and make 70% of profit, 60% of profit. Okay, if that's the case, it will be really strict. But we always try to be between the 30 and 40% to make that money. But that's a fair market. We are in America, it's everything. It's expensive in America, and everybody makes money in America. So
Yes.
you want to make money, we want to make money, and we need to pay stuff. It's not net profit sometimes. It's not, we have costs. We have a lot of things to pay: internet, office, van, trucks, workers, a lot of overhead that you have. So I think everybody knows roofing companies make money out of their projects. But it will depend on what we deliver. Because if you're making 70% out of a job where you're putting a sheer shingle, where you're putting on that roof bad accessories, plastic accessories, you're not working with the top of the top, then you can feel regret of what you're doing. But if you're working with the best material for the price that you're giving, will you feel guilty of what you're charging?
Okay. And I never appreciate being the cheapest bid, but I believe that there is a difference between being the cheapest bid, being affordable, and charging way over what you should be charging. So do you same, or what is the difference to you between being the cheapest bid, being affordable, and just trying to take advantage of the homeowner?
Yeah, I think the cheapest bid is the guy that wants to win the job.
Hmm?
It doesn't matter what I take. They want to win this job, and they will win $200 out of a roof replacement, and they don't care. But for me, being an affordable company is making sure you're covering all the costs to deliver the best result, and then make your profit out of it. But if you're not ensuring to give the best product and the best result for the homeowner first, and then make your profit, and you're giving bad results and you're charging more to be the guy that nobody can pay, but they don't gonna deliver the best product, you're just missing out in a huge industry that can give you word of mouth like this. They can start telling the homeowners, the neighbors, their friends, their cousin, okay, these people works for a fair amount of money, and they give you the best product, and they give you the best. So you're gonna have more business and more business coming and more business coming. But sometimes something is being affordable, and another really different thing is being the cheapest bid. That is what I mean. Like, if you want just to win the job, no matter your cost, no matter your overhead, no matter your break even point, and you're screwing up the homeowner because you're not delivering the best result for them.
And how do you set goals for your company? What is the process? Do you follow any process, or is it just a random plan, or you guys figure it out through a process?
So we figure out through a process. Basically, what we are doing is we don't go like, okay, we are 1 million this year, we want to be 3 million next year. We don't try to measure in money that type of things, because we have people depending on us. We have a repair crew in house. We have a lot of people working with us here in house. So we need these people to have jobs coming and coming and coming. Some of them are 1099, some of them are W2. But the 1099 that works every single project, we need to keep them busy. My goals are usually, okay, I'm doing 3 roofs per week. I need to go to 5. I'm doing 17 repairs per week. I need to go to 25 repairs per week. So I measure more in the amount of jobs that we are getting, with the right amount of profit we are getting out of them. We measure more in volume, because volume gives us also more experience and give us better quality, better product. And then we set some goals and money speaking, but I always try to do it most on volume and keeping my people busy, because you don't want to have, what is the most dangerous things for me? Bored person. Person that it's doing nothing. That's the most dangerous person in the world, because they're trying to figure out what am I supposed to do, what I'm supposed to do. If you keep your mind busy, you're never gonna be boring and thinking what to do.
Yes.
If you keep yourself busy, you always have something to do, and you're always gonna have a goal to achieve.
Cool. Okay, let me just absorb that. So, Hender, if you are comfortable about speaking that, when you were working in the kitchen, I am guessing that you had your wife and your kid at that time as well. So, how was it difficult for you to make the ends meet, or like what was that phase, and what would you recommend to someone who is in the same phase as you right now? Like, how should they handle their family part, their expenses, and their mindset?
Okay, so what I try to do most of the time, people say I'm supposed to have a salary on us. For example, me and my wife, we are partners. I do my podcast with my wife. She's Jocelyn. So we do our podcast and everything together. She works with me. We are 24/7 together. And how we manage our finance is we have these bills to pay. So we need to make this amount of money monthly basis. So I don't have exact amount of money. Okay, I'm going to pay this much to myself. I need to pay my bills. This is the amount of bills that we have. We don't live in a super fancy house. We don't have fancy cars. We just have a regular life that we need to pay. And everything else go to our savings. And of course, a little percentage of it, but most get reinvested in the company. For example, we're doing the podcast. We invest money on equipment for the podcast. We just get new trucks. We have now more trucks. We have more new vans that we are trying to get people, our repair crew in vans. That way they can just go and do the repairs with everything on the truck already. They don't have to go back for materials or for tools. So they have everything in there. They have all already set up just to go and do the repair. So we always try to put as much money as we can into the company. Again, I know a lot of people say like, oh, that's not worth it, but I have this roofing company gives me enough to live a comfortable life, not a fast life, but I live a comfortable life. Expect what I fancy is going to travel. That's something that I feel like, okay, this is my luxury, going to travel. I love going to travel because at the end of the day, you just gonna be whatever you experience. I want to know the full world. I don't know. I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna travel every single week, but I travel every 3 months or something. That we go in a trip and try to start meeting the world, like knowing the different cultures, because that gives you something that gives you better perspective of life. Like, okay, you're seeing different perspective. You're seeing how these people live. You're seeing how their culture is. What can you get good from those cultures to get yourself more wise or more prepare for life? What lesson can you learn from these places that you're going? My luxury is travel, not travel fancy and get no it's travel to knowing places, to get experience with my family, and that's the luxury that we get. But live a comfortable life, a car for me, a car for her, and our home, and that's it. We don't go to expensive places or nothing like that. I mean, people in roofing can do that. If you are making a good amount of money, you can buy sport cars, you can buy all those type of things. But it's that what really makes you happy. Everybody's different. I'm not that type of person, so I think what it makes me happier is seeing my family happy.
Okay, this is a kind of personal question, Hender, that I have both kind of people till now. I have had people on my show who had these supercars and yachts, and they say that we are happy this way as well. And I have people who say exactly like you that these things don't make you happy. Now I am someone who is in building myself, and I am earning like adequate amount of money right now, and I can get cars and like these things attract me. But then I hear people like you who say that these things do not bring happiness. So what is the real thing? Like, are there any illusion, or like what is the reality behind all of this? Yes.
I think that there's achievement that you have in your mind, and they're way to get to that point. But in my perspective, this is just my point of view. People can think really different, and it's fine. If you want to drive in a sport car, go to Miami and rent that car. If you have the money to do it, rent it for a weekend. But if you're gonna buy type of cars, I think you're not investing money. You're spending your money in bad way. So go rent this car, have fun for a weekend, and then just give it back to the owner to depreciate. But if you want a boat or you want something like that, you should rent it. Have your fun. But you're gonna see. I have a bike. I make a mistake. I had a bike in my garage.
Okay.
I think that's what I wanted in some point of my life. I drive it for a month, and I don't use that thing no more. It's just over there. It's in a sport bike, and it's just right there sitting. So I understand from that experience that is not where it fits. I like, for example, I went to Puerto Rico with my wife not long ago, and my dream was to go in a yacht for one time, to go in a yacht and see how a yacht is. I went to Puerto Rico, rent a yacht with my wife. I didn't feel nothing. And it was like, okay, this is cool. This is cool, but this is not everything. This is not gonna bring you happiness to your life. You don't need to buy a yacht. You need to buy this type of things to feel happy. In my perspective, that's how I see life. You can do this stuff to have fun or to experiment them. Remember that if you buy a car or if you buy something that is really expensive, and then you're gonna have to pay it, and it's gonna make a impact on your life, it's better just to rent it and have the fun for a little bit, and then just get over it. That's my perspective on it.
And it totally makes sense as well, because I feel that when you buy something like this, you get that adrenaline rush. And most of the time, you don't even drive that supercar and you don't have the chance to be on that yacht because you are working in your company and that is just lying there. The supercar is just in your garage and you don't get a chance to drive that every single day. And it was just a rush that you had to achieve. Now you have done that, now you are back to your normal life. But if you still have to do that, you can just rent it. You are right.
Just rent it. And if that's something like in your mind that you cannot get over it, like just like, I need this, I think this is gonna make me happy, I think this is gonna make me better person, I think this is gonna make me feel better. Okay, do it, but do it responsibly. Just rent it and see if you like it, and then if you like it, buy one. Okay, that if that's your thing, so buy one. Then, if not, rent it, have your good time, and then get back to your life. And for example, my dream is to get my daughter to go to a good college here in America. That's my dream, and I'm saving money for that, and I'm doing my stuff for that. So that's my actually dream. That it's my financing achievement. That is something that I work for. For example, and I don't think cars, houses, nothing of that are gonna make you happy. I think land can make you happy. I think if you buy a lot of acres and you have animals and you have stuff like that, that can give you happiness. Absolutely, that's something that the human being is
Yes.
set up from the natural ways to be happy. Okay, if you have a farm with cows, with horses, and you have to feed them, you have to do things for them, and you can get a feedback from them. I think that's a really cool way to be happy buying things. I think that's the better way to buy things and get happy. But that's just my perspective. I think some people get happiness from going to clubs, or some people get happiness to getting cars, and that's fine. It's everybody different mindsets, everybody different mentalities.
Okay. And I believe that there should be some standards for happiness because, like you just mentioned in the beginning of this interview, that most people get bullied in America, and most people get happiness from that. So if I think that human beings are designed to be around, not to be around machines. They are designed to be around souls and positive souls, and there is an exchange of energy there, and there is a bar that you should set for your happiness as well, because if you don't have that bar, you just achieve things without any sense and you just do nonsense. That's what my belief is.
That's why people say rich people are dangerous when they get bored, and that's
Yes.
that's actually true, because so you get to that point when nothing else is gonna make you happier. You're at the point when I think the peace on your life can give you a lot of happiness if you know how to handle it, because a lot of people doesn't know how to handle peace. So if you have a peaceful life, but you're not used to a peaceful life that gives you happiness, you're gonna need some mess to make it happier, or to make it fun, And I think that's how we are set up to be. We need to be a roller coaster. We need to have highs and ups, because I think it's also boring to live in a life where you're always happy, where you're always a good mood, where no, you need to have your
Ups and
lows
downs.
and your
Yes.
highs as well. I think, yeah, your ups and downs. Totally.
Cool. I have two more questions for you, brother. The first one is that you are someone that started from rock bottom, like when I see you, kind of rock bottom, because you moved to America, total new country, and now you are starting everything. So, how important is the role of being, or how important is the role of having a supportive wife in all this journey? Like, how do you see that part of life?
It is all, bro. It's all. The partner that you choose in your life is the only thing that is gonna keep with you forever if you keep it. So you need to make a good choice. You need to be wise and see, because people a lot of times say like, okay, I got in love 4 months ago, but I don't feel in love anymore, so I want to get divorced or something like that. But I think love, it's not something that you just feel. It's something that you feel, but it's always something that you build. So you need to build the love with your partner forever. And if you choose a partner, if you choose somebody who is not in your mindset, nor in your vibes, nor in the same mood as you are, you're just gonna back yourself, and gonna back this person as well. Back it up, because you're gonna be off track and this person is going to be off track as well. Matthew McConaughey says if you are in a relationship and you are running and the other person is walking, you need to come back, get this person and start running with them or start walking together, because you cannot be in a different page with the partner you have in your life. You need to be in the same page. So be happy. And if you're in your lows, these people need to cheer you up. If this person in their lows, you need to cheer them up. So if you don't have this in your life, it's really hard to get off this low point. And I think the better thing that I have in my life is my family. It doesn't matter what. So you need to build the trust, you need to build the love, you need to build the relation that you're gonna have for the rest of your life. And you cannot be hesitating in this. It's a yes or it's a yes, but this decision is gonna depend on the rest of your life, on your happiness, on their happiness, on your child's happiness, on your future. Everything's gonna depend on this decision. So this is the biggest thing in a person's life. No question to ask.
That is such a beautiful approach that when you leave someone behind, now you have two options. You can either continue and catch someone who is way ahead of you, and now you say that, okay, I found a better partner. But you mentioned the totally opposite of this. You said that you go back there and you catch the person you started the journey with, and you just take them with you. Such a beautiful approach.
Yeah, I think, everybody dreams to be on top of the mountain. Everybody wants to see the sunrise in the top of the mountain. But if you're by yourself, it's really boring. If you have somebody to share this with, it's going to be way better. So I think that it's the same with life. If you are succeeding in life, if you are doing everything in life, but you're by yourself, it's not going to be the same as you have somebody to share your achievements and your things with. You need this person in your life to feel, at least in my life, I need her to feel more happy.
Beautiful. You are a giver. I can feel that. And I want to ask you, like, what makes you a giver? Like, you can easily have your own roofing company. You cannot do all the things that you are doing for the Spanish community. You even have a school community. School is the platform by Alex Hormozy. You have that community. I don't see many roofers owning a school community. And you are giving to others on that platform as well. And you are hosting a podcast, especially for the Spanish people or for the Latinos. So what makes you a giver? Like, why not choose the other path?
The thing is that, as I told you, I think everything is better when you share. And also, I love to reading books, reading stuff. So one time I read in the book that there is a karmatic law in the world. Like, everything that you do is gonna come back to you, no matter what, no matter when. It's gonna come back to you. So if you act wrong, things gonna come back, and you're gonna pay the price for doing the things wrong. But if you act right, everything's gonna come back and do the same. And so I've been doing this for a long time. Every single morning when I do all this stuff, I just try to say, I'm gonna be good to people no matter what, because I want the same to happen to me. I want people to be good to me. And also, I always say out loud what I want. I always set my goals out loud, because I know God and the universe heard everything that you're saying. You're manifesting where you need. So the world bro, I can guarantee you this. If you don't want to do it, don't. But every single morning you say one thing that you want to achieve out loud, that the universe can hear you, that God can hear what you're saying. Manifest that and give it 1 year. You're gonna achieve that, no matter what. It's the thing that I don't know if I heard it's physics. I don't know if it's physics. I don't know if it's quantum physics. I don't know what it is. But if you set on your mind a goal, like, okay, I want to achieve this, but you say everything every single morning out loud, you're gonna end it up doing it in some point, because you are setting your mind for it. So I think the karmatic law and the manifesting law in the universe is huge, and it's something that exists. Everybody says that. Dave Goggins says, all these people that I look up to, they say, manifest your things because they're gonna happen, and you do it and it actually happened. So I believe in karmatic law, and I believe in the manifesting laws. I just don't fuck with them, So that's how I try to live.
Okay, so my last question to you is that I have seen you with Dmitry Lipinski, and he is a legend in roofing, I would say. Like, he is doing all this cool stuff online too. So how important do you feel is making connections when you are growing? Like, how important was making connections in your journey? How do you feel that if you did not have all these connections that you have, would you end up?
Absolutely, the connections, the networking on the on the roofing industry
Hmm.
is huge. So you need to have good connections. You need to have good networking. You have to be in the right spots with the right people. And the thing with Dimitri is that I start everything because of his roofing school. Since I start with his roofing school. So I look up to him since I start. Think the same way that he does about the roofing industry. I think doing right. I think being bold. I think all of these things that he approached in his school and everything, it's the same way as I do with exercise, with everything. So he has kind of the same mindset that I do. I look up to it, and we did a really good teamwork. And he's something that I look up to because he's a really huge thing in the industry, but he also a great person. He had taught me a lot of lessons in my life, so I'm really grateful to be able to be part of this huge team because it's a huge team.
Awesome. Okay. I have a book recommendation for you, brother. You just mentioned that you are creating a family and you are creating an environment like that. You're going to love this book. It is called The 7-Day Weekend. I will drop that to you in our chat as well. It's an amazing book, and I'm going to send that to you in our chat. So I really enjoyed our conversation. Yeah, I'll do that. I really enjoyed our conversation, brother. Any last bit of advice or anything that you want to share to the roofing community overall, or someone who is exactly in your shoes and something that they should listen?
I think that the main problem with the roofing industry right now is we have a lot of lack of information, lack of knowledge. We have a lot of people doing stuff that they don't know what they're doing out there. So if you're trying to get in the roofing industry, or you are in the roofing industry, make yourself an expert on roof. Start learning everything about roof that nobody can tell you something that you don't know about roof. First, make yourself a professional roofing. Then start your own company. Then do your thing. But the first thing is have the knowledge to start doing it. It's not that hard. It's not quant physics. You can just put 4 months on it and you're gonna understand at least residential, so get knowledge. Don't be out there doing the bad things that most of people that start here is doing, eating deductibles, no paying deductibles, doing insurance fraud, and leaving people without the roof, and collect those checks before. So don't do nothing of this. Honor your work, honor your job, honor your workers, and just be a nice person in the roofing industry. Be whoever you want to work with. If you
Okay.
see your company from the outside, and you say, I don't want to work with a company like this, then make the things that you need to do to start wanting to work with this company for it to be something better.
It was amazing conversation with you, brother. Thank you so much for taking your time out and joining me here. I think the world needs more people like you. Have a great day and keep growing.
Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me here. And yeah, look up for the next one.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Have a great rest of your day.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.